Which self are you being? Which self are you being? Peace, family. Now, if you were tuning into this video because you was trying to figure out who to be, you're not going to learn that. You're going to figure out who you've already been in this video. All right? Yes, in this video, family, I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's June summer eclipse or summer solstice. That's what today is, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I want to let you guys know right now that the quality of self has to be investigated. The quality of self has to be investigated. I was talking to a brother and I was realizing just, where I've been on my journey from where he has not yet traveled. And it helped me realize, where I'm really at with myself, because I don't talk to too many people not choosing this frequency often. But when I do, but I just don't. I don't know. There's something else about this conversation that made me really tune in and be present with this brother. And it helped me see what he has not yet seen so I could show him. And in showing him, now I'm showing the family. So we can all have these things and understood perceptions, all right? So in this video, I'm going to show you guys the 4 major Jungian archetypes. And if you guys don't know who Carl Jung is a philosopher, a student of psychology, someone who basically works through the aspects of socialization and how people socialize themselves based on who they think they are and how society calls them to picture themselves. I find this particular psychologist's explanation to be door opening, to be mind opening, but it's not the only form of observation. All right. So letting y'all know clearly that this is a tool of observation. Tools are meant to be used, not to be glorified. All right. So watch. I'm going to take you guys over into this illustration right here on my phone. All right. So boom. We're going to go over here to the pictures. And right here is the 4 major Jungian archetypes. All right. Now I'm going to be explaining this from the very simple sense that we are light beings and we house ourselves within the temple body. All right. And I'm going to illustrate how this breakdown really works here. All right. So we have the anima or the animus. All right. The anima or the animus reflects the quality of the person, masculine or feminine. All right. This elements of masculine and feminine we derive from our ancestors and the way in which we go about living in the world based on ourselves, how we see ourselves in the mirror. That's why you have the mirror there. All right. Now, that person is also likened to who your mom thinks you are, because she grades you based on your name and you're the boy out of the 2 girls. And so that's the anima, the animal, the animated element of us. We are the spirit within. So let's continue this. Now you have the shadow. All right. So the shadow is the element of the physical person, more so the unexpressed behaviors, the repressed habits, the repressed desires, and sometimes, most times, we look into the shadow to find the lower self elements. Basically, the like I said, those secret behaviors, things that you do that no one knows that you do, or habits. Maybe you have addictions. These qualities reflect the shadow. It's the darker areas of our personality self. All right. Now over here we have the persona. The persona, as you can see, this lady sitting on the ground with some mask on the ground. The persona is very important because a lot of people live here. They probably have their shadow stuff in the closet somewhere, just maybe coming out on the weekends, maybe just coming out at the club. But most people live here in the persona. Why? Because the persona caused the most activity from the personality. The persona basically makes you suit who you're seeing. So for an example, you can be a mother. Let me get down. So for an example, you could be a mother, all right, to your children. That is one type of persona, because a mother might not talk to her children the same way she talks to her coworker. So she put on a mask so she could be mom, so that, the whole order and instruction can be followed and understood, and there goes about the business. But then who are you now to your husband? Because you are not a mother to your husband. Now, if you was a mother to your husband, maybe he's not fathering himself, you know? So think about that as well. And then you go to church. Now you're a church lady now, you're a deacon now. So, you know, you're not a mother right now, you're not a wife right now. You are a usher right now, or however that proceeds. You feel me? So the persona quality has a lot to do with society and the way in which we it's like the way in which we carry ourselves in this ego game of which mask are you wearing. All right, so the persona fluctuates because every time you meet somebody else, a different part of you activates. So for an example, you could be talking to a military man and he's talking to his lieutenants and everybody. He's just straight up giving them orders because that's what he does, right? But then imagine if he were to go to his home and now carry that same mask, and he got 2 kids and all he does is give them orders. Well, it's great because a father is always there to provide the direction. But if he's not able to be the child with his children, then who do you think they see all the time? Well, the only person they see all the time, that mask on the floor on the left, because that's his work mask. So they basically see the dad and he wears this work mask all the time. So he's not really anybody else but his persona. And then we have the self. The self, the true self, the illuminated light of God within the individual. See, the funny thing about this whole picture is that the self in the background is the one who's moving all of these physical beings. All the movement is happening with I am. The body just don't get up and find itself in the kitchen. No, I am going to the kitchen. Doom, 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 doom. Then the body walks downstairs. So we have to understand the quality of the self is not that same self that we're actually swapping and switching when we move and go about our ways and having interactions. The self is the only self that always is and never changes. See, here comes the scripture. Turn away from the world and turn unto me. The me that you turn unto is I am. And when you turn inwardly, you focus on the I am within you, you find yourself acting different. Different from what? Well, you're going to be acting different from the persona because you're not going to be the persona and the self at the same. See, when I am myself, I have no persona at all. Because whoever is wearing a mask is going to see the mask they're wearing when they look at me, because the self is like an infinite mirror almost. You guys know. I'm going to let you guys know. I don't wear masks now. I don't. My mom is the first person to know that I don't wear masks. She's like, I want so and so back. I'm like, Mom, so and so is dead. So-and-so is dead. If so-and-so is the so-and-so that came on here and just happy and giggly because everybody's home today, if so-and-so is the one that's just super excited because y'all are here, or so-and-so is the one that's, oh yes, because there's a visitor, he's dead. He's dead. We didn't do a funeral for him because it wasn't needed. I done resurrected the spirit of God I am within my own self, and that self that you knew is dead. Why? Because he was running off the persona so much. I got tired of swapping masks. I got tired of going to church and being a church man, and then going to school and being a student, and then going to work and being I was tired. I'm tired. And I know that the world is tired, because when you wear these persona masks, it's almost like someone who's wearing a mask and is really, really believing their mask. You have to wear your mask so that you also really believe it as well. That's dead. That's dead. I'll give you an example. Like, telling the truth to someone who stands in like some kind of like religious chair of leadership, right? Y'all better know that I'm coming in there for everything. I remember I went to talk to the last pastor I was talking to when I was just like 2 years out of being in church. Like 2 years out of church, I went back there just trying to make sure that they knew that this identity shit was huge. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look, I was raised in this church. I didn't find what I found outside in church, and that's a problem for me. It's a problem for me to think that y'all don't have this, and yet y'all have the idea of Jesus Christ to be somebody else in a white envelope, not knowing that you open up this white envelope and is your own black ass. That is the essence and quality of God, the only I am that is as you, and God is not going to repeat himself as you. You are the only one of you to be here right now, and God is not coming like you again. He's not. You're not coming the same way you are right now. So this brings a quality of just being intentional to your own personal life. And then also takes off the blindfold that there's only one begotten son. because the self lives in all of us. It's just that we have to resurrect ourselves from all these fucking masks we've been wearing and all the shadow shit we've been dancing around and not actually investigating. See, if you don't investigate your shadow, you basically hide from your shadow. Everything that you hide from, you glorify, you honor, and you uplift. So your shadow is pretty much, most people's shadow leads and runs their life because they only use masks and then they in the shadow land. They're not operating with the true self, because when they have a true insight to do right, they ignore that shit. When they have a true guidance to say and speak the fuck up, they ignore that shit. So instead of speaking up, what do you have? A mask. A mask. Scripture says, deny me and I will deny you also. How many of y'all got an insight and intuition and didn't follow it? What happens next? You get another one, you get another text, you get an SMS, you get a Instagram reel to your phone. No, you don't. You get nothing else. You get nothing else but the echoes of what you should have did already. You get nothing else but the remembrances of, wow, I should have actually followed through with that. And on top of that, it actually gets better. Sometimes you don't even get that. You see somebody else doing the same shit you should have been doing because you got it already. You got it first. If you want to put a number on it, you got it first, but you ignored it, so it went to the next person who was readily and available. This is how energy moves, family. It's like a cloud. It's like a cloud. I could be sitting here parked on a desert right now. And if I'm not tuned in, the cloud of water could be pouring right now. But since I got my sunroof closed, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be here and not receiving the quality thoughts from my own higher self. So what I need to do is work with my personality, understand my ego a little bit, open up my sunroof and allow the codes from I am to really rain down in my consciousness, and not just take the codes to be things that I observe, like thoughts passing in my mind, but actually gifts, messages, insights, revelations, and tasks to be carried out by my own physical man. See, the spirit man is always in communion with his own self, but you have to be allowing you, the I am, to be expressive. But you cannot be expressive if you give too many damns about other people's perceptions and opinions, because now, instead of you honoring I am, God within you, you honor the perception of who someone else thinks they are. So you don't want to disrespect their lie, so you don't tell the truth. What kind of fucking world are we trying to choose? I'm not choosing that. I'm choosing to reflect and reveal the perfect qualities of God that they're streamlining in my own consciousness right now, like Netflix on the screen. And I'm just going to keep talking about this, and the world can watch. How about that? Y'all can choose to tune into your higher selves and your true selves and your soul, or keep watching Netflix and Looney Tunes and walking around with a mask. I know it. I was walking around with a mask too. I polished my mask. When I was masking, bro, I polished my mask. So now I'm polished without a mask. Now I don't give a damn about no mask. And then you see how they try to put us all with masks too? The time came on and told us to wear the masks. It's just all re-emphasizing the same thing we already do. We restrict and withhold ourselves from us. Therefore, we deny God. Therefore, giving somebody else opportunity to say yes to what God say. So with this, family, I want to make sure that this video is very helpful. So y'all tune into the Jungian illustration there, and really start to really be pinpoint and precise about your shadow. I'm investigating my shadow. I always investigate my shadow. I love investigating my shadow. I love my shadow because you can't hide from me, and it's funny when you try to. So I love my shadow. Now, let me tell you right now, as a person, as a personality, as your brother, I be motherfucking turned up about the shadows. I don't be quick to forgive the shadows. Sometimes I'm quick to annihilate and destroy. But then I go into, what would happen if love came into this? Then I'm able to see other things happening. Because I'm telling y'all, I feel and flow the emotions too. I just choose what to do after I feel the emotions, and not in the midst of choosing, in the feelings of the emotions, because I don't really make the best choices when I'm enraged like that. I don't make the best choices when I'm enraged and I'm fucking mad because I am fire, and y'all should know what the fire do. But yeah, family, be attuned to like which self you want to choose. Like, it's not hard. All I have to say is this: if your parents are not encouraging you to be your best self, they're reinforcing a mask. There's not many other ways. It's not many other ways. And I'll tell y'all the truth. Me raising up in a African-centered home, In America, we in Ghana. So it don't matter where we are. In these walls, we are in Sakumano. In these walls, we are in Takrady. In these walls, we are in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So growing up was different from folks out there. You know? It was so different because the mask is, that's your dad. He's home now. I don't know. We would just always... Now, I love the respect and the honor that comes with the African culture. I just choose to move our culture in a direction where we liberate ourselves from our true selves. We liberate ourselves from our masks, so we live as our true selves, and there's nothing to hide because everything is already shown. I like that. I prefer that. And as a youngin, I think the youngins will celebrate me for that. Because to assist them in wearing masks and lying to themselves anymore just sounds like torture to me. And I'm not torturing myself. And unfortunately, if I'm too real for you, then I'm excusing you because I'm not excusing myself. I'm speaking up for me. I'm letting every single word be left behind. I'm not carrying what I should have said. I'm not carrying what I should have said. I'm going to remember. This is how I like it. I like to remember me well. How do you like to remember you, Brother David? Let me tell you. I like to remember me in a sense that when I download from my higher self, that's the last I need to hear from it. That's the last I need to hear from the spirit. That's the last God needs to tell me. God don't need to remind me about nothing. Well, here and there I get reminded from my own spirit, but I'm not interested in... I should have. I'm not interested. I resign. I resigned from I should have. Now I just sign up for I did. Now, if I like how I did or if I don't like how I did, it doesn't matter to me. The simple fact that I don't hide, suppress, or push away my vibration and how I truly feel is my only interest. Because what's real is going to stay. What's fake is going to go. So I got to hold me down. And unfortunately, Mom, I don't care that you don't like what I'm about to say, but here it is. And unfortunately, Dad, you might not love what I'm about to tell you right now, but here it is. And the thing about it is also like it's also powerfully enhanced my communication abilities because I'm not interested in wounding nobody. Now, some people deserve to be wounded because I'm still healing, but I'm still going to choose healing for them too. I don't know. It's just easier to make the higher self choice when you're tuned. But I'll tell y'all, if y'all are riding those emotions or the emotions of the personality at the time or the ego at the time, I'm just shaking my head because I know what I wanted to do. But I'm standing glorious to my own self to say I humbled my emotional charge by choosing to understand and process it within my own heart before just acting upon it. See, that's not what I'm teaching here. I'm teaching a different level of inner responsibility. So with that being said, family, tune into the selves that you are and be your best self. Add some discipline to your regimen if it's needed. Give yourself some time to go introspectively and seek out those pain points that need to be brought understanding to. Nobody's going to do it for you. Peace to all the family. Peace to all the tribe. Peace to all the God and Goddess. God is the one with you in all ways. Before we close this video, go ahead and take yourself a deep breath of love and exhaling everything unlike that divine love itself. Feel like you just got high on life. Talk to y'all. Peace.